There is something about wood that's pretty special. Whether you're using it, whether you're making something out of it. Warm, handmade, old world feel, being around so much wood. Super comforting process. Essentially taking a block of wood, like making a sculpture out of marble. You start with something bigger, and then taking material away until you've got what's left. And that's the utensils. Earlywood is located in Red Lodge, Montana, which is the base of the Beartooth Mountains in south central Montana. We make one thing essentially, and that's wooden kitchen utensils. They're utensils, but they're kind of like little pieces of art in my opinion. Always kind of drawn to that. I know it sounds weird, but I'd go over to somebody's house, and like the first thing I would do is go into their kitchen. I would go in and I would just looked at their kitchen utensils. It was just kind of something I did. I was at a girlfriend's house actually in college. She was raised half in the United States and half in Nepal. They had traveled around the whole world. It was their spoon collection where I really got inspired. I was an engineer in Oregon for 5 years. 6 months into getting that job, I started making wooden spoons on the side, trying to figure out if it was actually going to be feasible from an entrepreneurial business standpoint. Like, could I actually do this? There was probably 4 years where I didn't even sell one. All I did was make, go through the design process from an artistic standpoint and a functionality standpoint. Can't forget about the function because I am an engineer. We've got your wooden spoon here that everyone would say, yeah, it's a wooden spoon. Then we've got this. There's only about one thing that this will do that this won't. It will scoop up a little more. I just try to look at something that's existing, look at the function, take out everything that's not necessary, and then end up with a functional tool that looks however it looks. That's kind of the design process. Iterate, test, iterate, test. Moved back here to Red Lodge in 2010. Wanted a smaller town and to be closer to outdoor activities. It was once I was back here in Red Lodge when we actually got our first website sale. So that was 5 years into dinking around with wooden spoons when we actually got our first sale. And it just steadily got bigger and bigger. I was working 2 40-hour-a-week jobs. Something had to give. We had just bought a house, just had a kid, and I decided to quit the steady, good-paying engineering job and try to start my own company making wooden spoons. I was pretty positive it was going to work. Positive's a strong word, but I was pretty confident it was going to work. Kind of dawned on me that there's two kinds of people that make wooden spoons. The guy or girl who retired or does it in their spare time, and they bust their butt for 6 months all winter long to have enough products to sell at a craft fair. Then you got the other side where you get this spoon that you can buy for $1 at Target, and they don't cost anything, and they totally suck, but they can handle the quantity. So I wanted to fill the gap in between, make this craft fair quality product, but at a higher quantity. Really, no one was doing that. It seems to have worked, identifying the gap and then filling the gap. We don't sacrifice on quality. We just want to make something that lasts a long time and make it as good as we possibly can to do that. So we get the best woods we possibly can because we're not going to sacrifice on quality of woods. A couple of our woods have to come from Central and South America, where there has been historic deforestation. What we've done since day one, we made a commitment to donate $1 from every order we get to the Nature Conservancy. They've got this Plant a Billion program. They're trying to plant 1 billion trees. And you can point it to where you want, to which country you want it to go. So depending on what we're selling, we'll send it to the countries where our wood comes from. There's different ways to be sustainable. We design wooden utensils that your grandkids will give to their grandkids. Making products that last forever is definitely one of those ways. I think what makes something heirloom quality, it's got to fill a couple of categories. One is time. It's gotta last a long time. And then the second thing would just be the person's connection with that particular object. I think the more functional something is, the more you're gonna use it, and the more chances you have to make that connection with it. I've always hoped that these would inspire people in the kitchen. I hope the quality, might somehow soak its way into the whole experience of cooking. I'm using the good utensils, and it feels great in my hand. And I'm using the right ingredients, and I'm doing everything right, and this is gonna come out so good. Hopefully, something like this with these utensils kind of inspire whoever's using them to just be a little more creative with their cooking, make better food, hopefully enjoy it more in the end. When I was an engineer, my contentment with my job would ebb and flow. I still ebb and flow, but it's up here now. A bad day here is still probably better than a good engineering day for me. I feel real good about it as a whole. If I had to go back, I would definitely make the same decision. Where do I see Earlywood going? We're kind of at a really nice spot right now. I don't really feel this drive to grow this business and have it be some household name. I'm happy with making what we make, and I'm happy with the quality of what we make, and I'm happy to be here in this town, living the life we do, live a good life, and enjoy what I can while I can. In Montana, you can, sounds kind of weird, but you can be somebody, somebody that makes a difference a little bit. Granted, I'm just a guy that has 5-6 employees in a town of 3,000 people. If I was a guy in San Francisco with 5-6 employees, it wouldn't really affect San Francisco. But if I'm in Red Lodge here with just 3,000 people and I employ 5 or 6 people, it actually makes a difference. It might be 5 or 6 families that get to live here and enjoy this space and enjoy the outdoors and whatnot. It just makes me feel real good about doing what I'm doing here, and makes me feel like it's helping more than just me.